Rain pounded relentlessly on the cold pavement outside the city hospital, turning the streets into reflective rivers of gray. In the chaos of honking cars, bustling nurses, and anxious relatives, a small figure collapsed on the sidewalk. A little girl, no older than 7, lay trembling and soaked, her tiny hands clutching a crumpled hospital bracelet. Her eyes fluttered, desperate and lost, as the rain blurred the world around her. In that instant, a man's heart skipped a beat. The single dad, exhausted from a long night of work, had no idea that his simple act of kindness would change the course of several lives that day. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of small actions to make a big difference, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness, because stories like this deserve to be seen. Mark had been a single father for 5 years, juggling a warehouse job that left him drained and 2 children who demanded his love and patience. His own life was a careful balance of bills, school runs, and bedtime stories. Yet even in his exhaustion, the sight of the little girl on the rain-slicked sidewalk stirred something deep within him. He rushed to her side, kneeling in the puddles, wrapping his coat around her shivering body. Her lips were pale and her tiny frame shook violently. Without hesitation, he scooped her into his arms and carried her into the hospital lobby, where the fluorescent lights cast harsh reflections on the wet floor. The hospital staff were busy, and no one immediately noticed the emergency unfolding at the entrance. Mark's heart pounded as he approached the reception desk, begging for help. The girl clung to him, whispering something incoherent between tears and shivers. Mark's mind raced, questioning why a child would be alone outside a hospital in such weather, but he focused on the immediate, keeping her alive and warm. He had no idea of the tangled story behind her small, frightened eyes. Hours passed, or maybe it was minutes. Time felt suspended in the fluorescent haze of the emergency room. Mark stayed by her side, packing the sterile floor, refusing to let her out of his sight. The girl's trembling subsided slowly, comforted by the warmth of his coat and the steady presence of a stranger who refused to leave. The doctors eventually took over, but Mark felt a strange tug at his chest, sensing that the story behind this child was far from simple. The girl's mother had been struggling with life-altering circumstances, trapped by financial hardship and an abusive partner. In her desperation, she had been unable to care for her daughter properly, leading to the fateful moment when the child wandered outside the hospital, hoping her mother would find her. Mark had no inkling of these truths. He only knew that a small life depended on him, and in that urgency, he discovered a strength he didn't know he possessed. Over the next few days, Mark's involvement became unavoidable. The hospital had contacted social services, who explained the situation to him in hushed tones. The girl's mother was unreachable, and the child was officially in temporary care. Mark felt an unexpected responsibility swell inside him, a pull stronger than any exhaustion, more urgent than his own worries. He couldn't explain it, but he knew he could help. He began visiting the girl daily, bringing her small toys, warm blankets, and stories he read aloud in a voice gentle enough to soothe the fears that haunted her. She began to trust him, offering timid smiles and holding his hand when she needed reassurance. Mark's own children, initially unsure of this new presence in their lives, warmed to her as well. The household that had always been just him and his 2 children suddenly felt fuller, lighter, and strangely more complete. Yet it wasn't easy. Mark faced sleepless nights balancing work, his own children's needs, and visits to the hospital. There were moments of doubt when he questioned whether he was doing the right thing, whether he was overstepping boundaries, or whether the girl's presence in their lives was temporary. Still, he persisted. There was an unspoken understanding between them. She needed him, and he could not turn away. One rainy evening, months after the initial collapse, the truth revealed itself in a moment of quiet clarity. The girl, now more confident and smiling, looked at Mark and whispered, "I don't have anyone else, do I?" The words pierced through him, carrying both the weight of her loneliness and the delicate hope of trust. In that instant, Mark realized that life had placed this child in his path not as a burden, but as a gift, a chance to extend love and stability to someone who had never known it. Mark decided to formally petition to become her guardian, a decision met with both legal hurdles and emotional weight. There were long meetings, paper trails, and anxious nights, but every step felt right. Every obstacle only reinforced his resolve to provide a home filled with warmth, security, and love. And finally, the day came when the legal documents were signed. The little girl, now a permanent member of Mark's family, ran into his arms, her laughter mixing with the cries of joy from his own children. Mark never sought recognition for his actions, never wanted a pat on the back, but he discovered something deeper than praise, the joy of making a real difference in someone's life. Through small acts of courage, patience, and compassion, he had transformed not only the girl's life but his own. The house that had been quiet and burdened by routine became a haven of love, laughter, and second chances. Kindness, he realized, had a ripple effect far greater than any of us can see. One small act, helping a little girl in the rain, had changed everything, showing him that love often arrives unexpectedly, wrapped in moments of chaos and uncertainty. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Ripple of Kindness. Every small act of compassion can create waves of change in the world, and your engagement helps these stories reach hearts everywhere. Before we close, I have a special request. Share your thoughts in the comments below about a moment when a stranger's kindness changed your life. Your story could inspire someone today. In the end, Mark understood a profound truth. Sometimes, the people who appear in our lives unexpectedly are not accidents. They are the universe giving us the chance to make a difference, to love, and to be loved in return. And in helping that little girl rise from the rain-soaked pavement, he discovered the power of a heart willing to give, even when it has little to spare. If you want, I can also rewrite this in a slightly more cinematic, visually rich style perfect for voiceover narration, with suspenseful beats and emotional pauses for a 10-12-minute YouTube video. That version would have packing cues and imagery optimized for viewers.